In this episode, I'm sitting down with two Taoist masters and retreat leaders from Sedona Mago. We explore 3 of their introductory retreats and how Sedona's environment supports your healing process. So let's jump into it.
The whole Sedona Mago is embraced by mountain ranges. So we are in the valley, in the middle of it, and then we have 12 little vortices in and around the property. So as you also said, we have to pretty much first empty ourselves from all the preconceptions, all the beliefs that we have, or all the life experiences that made us close ourselves little by little, right? So when they come here, the first thing that can happen, just by being here, they can relax.
Arriving in the valley lets your mind relax, and there's fewer visual and social inputs stimulating your senses, which gives your brain less information to track and less things to sort of process and keep track of. Then you add those 12 energy vortexes. When people are there, they feel this sort of opportunity to like relax and let their breathing deepen and let their nervous system finally come out of this flight or fight survival mode that they've been locked into for a long time.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
That's the first place where I saw the whole arch of the Milky Way for the first time. Yeah, because it's so no light. We hardly have any lights, very low. So you can seek out the very dark spaces, places on the property, and then it's just like millions and millions of stars sparkling at you. It's very magical.
That magical feeling is actually a perspective shift. What do I mean by that? Is that in daily life, we're usually going around thinking that we're the center of everything. But then when you're under the Milky Way galaxy and you see how vast everything is, you realize that you're only one small, tiny speck in the middle of all this. And it shifts the way you think about your role in the universe and really how much larger everything is. And that allows you to kind of unburden yourself and to de-stress a little bit. And so when you're in that state, you can then have this inquiry as to like, okay, the universe is so big, I'm so small, and what can I actually put down and what do I need to be carrying? What is actually essential for me to continue on with and what is not serving me anymore?
Easy way to think of it is like a candle. So a candle, the waxy part, that's like the physical body. And then we have the wick with the flame. So that flame is the energy body. Gives us heat. But also the flame gives off something else. Light. That's the spiritual body. So physical body is most important. If you have a candle with a very small, very little wax, it's gonna melt and burn out very quickly. And naturally, if you have the energy and have the body, then you also have light. So it's brighter. If you lack energy, then your consciousness, your spirit body is darker. So we want to make the physical body healthy and strong to support the energy body. So naturally our consciousness is bright.
So everything, I would like to add a little bit, everything we practice here is aligned with our energy system in our body. So yes, we have the physical body. The physical body envelops basically the energy system that we have. 7 chakras, 12 major meridians, 365 acupressure points. So by basically very simple methods like body tapping, whole body tapping, we are activating the energy in the body. We are opening all the acupressure points, and then we strengthen our physical body. And then through all this energy activation, actually, naturally, energy starts to circulate through our system. We say water up, fire down circulation. When that happens, naturally, your brain gets brighter because energy is actively flowing. So then all 3 energy centers, the vital energy center of your 2nd chakra, which is related to your physical health, the middle energy center related to your true self, where your true self resides, and it's related to your emotional maturity. And then energy goes up to your head. That's related to the upper energy centers related to your intuition, wisdom, insight, creativity, brightness, expanded consciousness, all the way to enlightenment.
So you don't need to understand any of the chakras or meridians or energy systems for this process to be effective. When your energy and your emotional energy begins to flow more effectively, you're not as easily going to be overwhelmed and like kind of frozen in space and time. And so that's how they guide you. First physical, then energy and emotion. And then once those two can be in place, then you start looking at the bigger picture questions of your purpose, your intuition, and your direction in life. So instead of dropping you straight into some silent meditation where you're forced to just sit there and hope and pray that your mind finally relaxes, they have a structured process that goes from the ground up and allows you to finally get to that place in a more methodical basis.
The Sedona Wellness Retreat is a good, can I say, follow-up on finding true self, or sometimes also you can come for wellness first and then finding true self, depends on the person. So the wellness, as it says, Sedona Wellness is all about wellness. How can I be well? I mentioned the water up, fire down circulation. So definitely through this retreat, we help people to activate their energy in their body, release blockages, energetic blockages, and then they start to circulate the energy to their system. That's one major benefit they can receive. So then they can really come back to themselves and not, so many people, they run away from themselves. They always have to distract themselves. They don't want to be in this little house here, right? Why? Because maybe there's a lot of pain, emotional, but also maybe physical. So the wellness really helps to clean out, purify your body, and then also emotionally. So we do a lot of emotional healing in the Sedona Wellness Retreat. All the way, my part of it is the deep emotional root healing, because as you mentioned it earlier, there's always a root to our emotions, to our story that we tell about ourselves, right? Which is mostly not very positive, right? Everybody has their own negative story about themselves. I'm this way, I'm that way. Where does it come from? Yeah, that comes definitely from our childhood. When we are small, we are like sponge, right? We just take everything on as the truth. So, and then the life experience, all this together makes up who we are. But we can reprogram ourselves.
The Sedona Wellness Retreat is great for a lot of people, but it's actually particularly good for people that haven't had any sort of personal development or emotional processing work before. And it's good because it does follow that process again that we've been talking about, the body and the nervous system regulation and relaxation. And then you work on the emotional level and you start moving that energy through your body. And so that you then get access to kind of bigger picture, intuitive insights. And the Sedona Wellness Retreat, they really dive into childhood stories or narratives that we are holding on to in our consciousness. So you might not realize that you have the story or your narrative, but it's actually operating in the background and causing you to behave and do things in life that may or may not be conducive to your productivity. There are these fundamental stories and patterns that are causing us to take our life in a certain direction. And so with Sedona Wellness Retreat, you start getting an opportunity to sort of review those processes, review those patterns in life, and start looking inside to see which of these stories and narratives are serving you and which aren't, and start doing that emotional processing that will then set you up to be able to do deeper, more intense work in some of the other retreats. For example, the Finding True Self retreat that we'll talk about.
So many transformations all the time, but many people come, so much emotion, carrying them so much weight in themselves, often from childhood. And so they lived 30, 40, 50 years with this weight and couldn't express themselves. And then seeing them really awaken to that root and not realizing where that came from, then first recognizing it, and then they're break free of it, and all of a sudden they become so full of energy, bright, their face changes, they get younger looking, and there's so much love just comes out of them all of a sudden. It's so amazing, and I see it every week.
This kind of retreat not only does these processes in a structured way, but it gives you a really supportive environment to be held, so that you can start putting that stuff down that you've been holding on to and start allowing the energy to finally flow. And when that happens, then your physical body has so much more capacity to experience more of life and experience more bandwidth and capacity of the range of life's ups and downs, rather than kind of holding on tight forever and ever. And then if you're holding on too tight, then life can't flow through you. And so you got to put it down and allow life to flow through.
So the Sedona Vortex Healing is here at Tao is the basically the only retreat that really goes into Sedona directly to the vortices, the powerful vortices. Out of 21 vortices that are officially recognized on the whole planet, 4 are in Sedona. That's really amazing. That's why so many people, over 4 million tourists, come every year to visit Sedona. But they just see the beauty and then they take photos and maybe they feel the energy and then they leave. But we can use that energy for deep healing. Yeah, so to connecting with the vortex energy of Sedona and then get the insights that we might not be able to find anywhere else, really. There's the Bell Rock, Cathedral Rock, Boynton Canyon, and then we have Airport Mesa Vortex. So they are in 4 locations. And in the center of that, there is a place, magical place, that's called Mago Castle. As you can tell, Mago, Sedona Mago, it's in our stewardship, that place. And it's in the center of all these vortices. So basically, really, literally, all the energy from the vortices is pulled to the center location, which is that place of Mago Castle. And also that one we are visiting during that retreat. And people, they just walk onto the property and they feel their essence right away, no effort, because the energy is so strong and pure there. So basically, it's a lot of nature meditation that we do in that retreat, 5 days on the property and then into Sedona. 2 days we go into Sedona. It's very light and joyful and connecting. So it's a little bit different characteristic of all the other ones that we have here.
Okay, let's break this down between the 3 main core introductory retreats. You can think of the Sedona Wellness Retreat as an introductory, inner cleaning, childhood trauma, releasing the stories, and introductory kind of inner cleaning up work. The Finding True Self retreat is a little bit more intensive emotional processing. And then that's where you also look at your life's purpose and your life's direction and maybe some of your identity work and who you are in the world. And then the Vortex Healing retreat is taking these newfound insights and who you are into the different locations of the vortices and adding that energy layer on top of it to then see if you can deepen that work and solidify it in your body to take back into your life. It's a good way to think about it.
So we go back to our old life, and then old patterns start to creep back in, work life, home life things, if we're not practicing well. So you need to come and kind of reset, reconnect, recharge.
I always think it's a great idea to have an intention. In certain circumstances, I'll recommend just go there and have zero expectations and just go there and experience what's available. So some of the questions you can ask yourself is what is the one thing I'm willing to change in my life when I get back home? What is something that I want to have to see that might be different? And so don't expect that you're going to go for a weekend or 5 days and everything's going to change in your life, but something within you is going to change so that when you go back to life, you then start implementing the new you into life. And then as a result, the external life will start changing in response to the new you. If you're considering a wellness retreat or a healing trip to Sedona and you don't want to sort through all the different options, then feel free to contact us at Retreat Finder. You can think of us as a wellness travel advisor. We can work with you to find the right retreats and make you the right introductions, particularly at Sedona Mago with their retreats. We can put you in touch with them or with others as well. So if you like this video and you want to see more from Retreat Finder, hit like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please do share this with anybody else in your life that you think that could benefit from it. Also, if you're particularly interested in Sedona Mago, we're going to have links under the video. So with that, I'm Amir. I look forward to seeing you again on YouTube, or you're going to see me again on YouTube, and we're going to continue looking out for the best retreats to bring to you. So we'll see you soon.